Good afternoon, Galaxy. We've got a lot of Star Wars news updates coming up. We've got some live-action turmoil happening with movies, but I guess that's just the business. We got a lot of Mando Mania merch dropping, and even an update coming to the Droid Depot, possibly? Hey everybody, welcome to the Dano channel. I am Dano, and we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to do a news roundup today. Tuesday is my big day where I go crazy, we go hard. It's the night that new episodes drop for Star Wars, so tonight I'll be doing a live watch party as well, so make sure you've got notifications turned on, you join me for that. But first, let's get into a little bit of Star Wars news. Speaking of Mando and the watch parties, tonight we've got an episode called The Foundling coming this week on Disney+, directed by yours truly, says Carl Weathers, the actor who plays Greef Karga. He's directing this episode. Honestly, it's called The Foundling. My guess, if I had to guess, based on some of the trailers and stuff that we've seen come out so far, is that we might get that little bit more origin story. We might see what happened during Order 66, some of those flashbacks that were teased in the teaser, little trailer. I think that might be shown tonight. If I had to guess anything with the name Foundling, that's where I would go. Now, in other Star Wars news, specifically live action, we've got a website over here. This is not a website I'm super familiar with, called Above the Line. They seem to be a new news trade, so take this with a grain of salt. They've got an exclusive. They're saying that Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson exit the Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy's top secret Star Wars movie. We did know Lindelof was working on a Star Wars movie, and apparently they've left the movie. Lately, Star Wars has had an issue with projects getting canceled. They've had a lot of stuff, just like Feige was making a movie, got canceled. There was going to be the Rogue Squadron movie, that got canceled. There's all this stuff that's like they announce it and it ends up not happening. So in this article, it says Lindelof recently cast doubt on his involvement in Star Wars universe in a recent interview with Slash Film at South by Southwest, where he said the following: "I'll just say that for reasons I can't get into on this Sunday morning, on this day, the degree of difficulty is extremely, extremely, extremely high," said Lindelof. "If it can't be great, it shouldn't exist. That's all I'll say, because I have the same association with it as you do, which is, it's the first movie I saw sitting in my dad's lap, 4 years old, May of 77. I think it's possible that sometimes when you hold something in such high reverence and esteem, you start to get in the kitchen and you just go, maybe I shouldn't be cooking. Maybe I should just be eating. We'll just leave it at that." Okay, there's a lot to unpack in that quote, and I like it when a creator can step away. They can look at things and they can say, you know what? I love this thing so much. Maybe I need to step away from it so that I don't muck it up. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing for us as viewers, as watchers of this, as consumers of Star Wars content. That's a good thing when the creator can say, you know what? I might be, maybe he was pulling too many nostalgia berries out and was, like overdoing it and felt heavy-handed and was like, no, I can't work on this and not muck it up with my own hands, which is a good thing. One take I saw from someone on Twitter was, well, is it possible that Lucasfilm wants to go that route, a route he didn't agree with, and they do want to go that mucked up route, and this guy who's like, no, I've loved this thing since I was a child, I don't agree with the direction. This could go either way. The light side of me thinks this is a positive, in which case you've got a creator saying, you know what, no, the direction I was going isn't the right direction. I'm gonna get out of the kitchen and I'm just gonna eat. I'm just gonna enjoy this with the rest of you. That's a nice positive way to look at it. It's like, no, it's a good move. The dark side of me is thinking, okay, things are really bad. Maybe this isn't gonna go that well. It goes both ways, right? I'm gonna hold out hope that this is ultimately a good move, but only time will tell. We'll see soon enough. Now, guys, we've got some merch dropping very, very soon. In fact, they've been doing these Mando Mania toy and merchandise drops over at StarWars.com, and there's some exclusive stuff that's come out. We're talking new Lightsaber Forge, new vintage collection, and so I've got some highlights of some of the stuff I generally cover in the channel and talk about, or at least things that are concerning to me, so let's get into some of that. Okay, first up, every week so far, well, not every week, but at least the first two, we've got new Lego sets relating to the prior, Knights episode. So we've got this set. It's the pirate little cruiser snub fighter with Vane that we saw in Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1. Next up, the next week, they released this one. It's a little crab fighter from the second episode of this season. We haven't seen one from the 3rd episode. Not that I think there was a whole lot of Lego to come through. But I'm wondering if maybe we'll get a different Grogu set based on tonight's episode, The Foundling. I don't know, but it seems to be kind of a habit they're doing of releasing these pre-orders for Lego sets that are related to each episode. And I don't collect Lego. I think they're overpriced for what they are, and I don't have anywhere to put them, so I don't collect them, but I love to look at them. So it's really cool to see this kind of stuff come up. Now, speaking of Lego, they also announced the N1, but that's a micro ship. That's not like a full-sized ship like a Lego ship. It's one of the micro fighters. And these are really fun, too. And if you look, it's got that little green thing, so it shoots. It's got little blasters on it. But I'm wondering, we've got the N1. You can pre-order it for Lego. You can pre-order it, or you can get it. It's revealed here in this other micro, different, weird scale. And I don't know how you guys feel about this scale. I don't, in particular, like it. I have a few, many in box still, but I don't really collect it. But as of right now, that's the only way to get this N1 fighter. Now, the rumors are out there. I believe yakface.com reported that there is a vintage collection scale version of this coming out. That I want, but it was rumored to be about $130. That's quite a bit. But vintage collection vehicles, at least larger scale ones, are usually really, really detailed and really good. If that is confirmed or it comes out soon, they announce it, I will probably jump on that. But it also got me thinking, since they're doing these in smaller scales, do you think we're going to get Micro Galaxy Squadron version of this? Now, Micro Galaxy Squadron is going to be at Star Wars Celebration in about 2 weeks, and they're going to have their own booth. They're even going to have their own panel, that's huge. That's really, really awesome. And so they're going to be releasing, I think they're going to have Wave 4. Oh, get this. Wave 4 Micro Galaxy Squadron is going to be on the floor at Star Wars Celebration London. And during their panel, they're going to show off pieces of Wave 5. I don't even know where Wave 2 is yet. And here we are on to Wave 5 already. So things are moving fast for Jazzwares and Micro Galaxy Squadron. We still don't have an N1 officially announced for Vintage Collection, but it seems to me like Vintage Collection is a little bit of a mess right now. The releases are kind of all over the place. Speaking of which, we're getting a Tusken Warrior. That's awesome. That's really cool. We're getting Tusken Warrior. We already have Fennec Shand. I like when they're doing these little world-building characters, but they keep doing it in such a weird piecemeal kind of way. It's like, well, you get one character from this show and one random character for this show. Instead of a Tusken Warrior, I would have rather had Cobb Vanth. Give me Cobb Vanth with removable armor or something like that. But instead what we're getting is retooled figures. I believe, I'm not sure if it's this one or the other Tusken, but it uses like Rey's legs from a different figure. So it's kind of a retool, which I get it for cost-cutting measures. They'll do stuff like that. But while it is nice to get a Tusken Warrior, it's weird they released a Black Series version of like the Tusken Chieftain. So you can't get both in both scales. You can only get the Chieftain in Black Series, and you can only get the Warrior in smaller Vintage Collection. It seems like a weird disconnect going on. And we can only get the N1 Snub Fighter, or the N1 Naboo Fighter, in the Micro or the Lego. Just give. We will want to spend money on this stuff. So just give it to us all, please, please. Now, speaking of Vintage Collection, just today, this got announced. Cad Bane is coming. Now, this isn't the same Cad Bane. It's not just a retooling or, resculpt, reuse of the old Clone Wars version. This is the likeness on it. It looks like the one from the live-action show. You can see it in the face a little bit closer. It is that's a new sculpt, as far as I can tell. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but that looks like a new sculpt, and you know what? I'm here for that. Now, there was also some recent reveals that came out, too. In fact, this one's about a week or so old, maybe a week, 2 weeks. There's a new Lightsaber Forge coming that's going to be Luke Skywalker's, based on his appearance at the end of Mandalorian Season 2 and in Book of Boba Fett, where he's training Grogu. And so, what I'm seeing here so far is it looks like a lot of reused pieces. I believe the emitter might be... Every time I say that they're all new or it's a new piece, I get corrected, and I find a different colored version of it in my box of Lightsaber Forge toys. So honestly, I'm losing steam with this line. it's starting to kind of get annoying. It's like, okay, just give me something good. Now, this is a non-electronic saber. You'll notice that the piece on the far right with the little kyber on top, that it's a reused Ahsoka piece, actually. That one, and then the one with the bandages on the middle, or the wrapping, I believe that's from Darth Maul. And then again, the emitter is brand new, and then the green blade, that seems to be it's just a green blade, but it's opaque because it's non-electronic, which means this should be about $16, $17 at retail stores. Who knows when it's going to hit? They said this summer. Does that mean May? Does that mean August? Typically, they've been releasing newer ones of these around July, August. I believe last year, end of July is when a lot of them came out. So who knows what we're going to end up actually seeing this year. But laughingplace.com actually got an exclusive. Take a look at this. We've got Ahsoka electronic. Notice that kyber crystal, it's longer. It's electronic. The little end cap has a little bit of an angle on it. Oh my goodness. There it is, mixing with the dark saber. What? Now these images come from laughingplace.com. They got an exclusive with Hasbro to release this morning. So I'll put a link down to their article down below. Look at that. There's the package. And it's Ahsoka. She looks very much like she did in Book of Boba Fett and Mando. Okay, I like it. I like what they're doing with that. Now, one thing we notice in this line is the electronic, more expensive sabers that go for $28. Those tend to be more styled to the lightsaber, while the cheaper non-electronic ones are more styled to the character, not the character's lightsaber. That's why the Luke one ended up looking more like Luke's outfit and his costume, while the Ahsoka one looks more like Ahsoka's lightsaber. That's been the real difference in this Lightsaber Forge line so far. And I gotta say, this one, while the Luke one's got me a little bit like, whatever about it, look at these pieces. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but those are all unique and different pieces. Finally, give me something new and I'll be happy. So it's neat to see this kind of stuff. I'm pretty excited about it. And I've got another little update here. Speaking of new things coming, Galaxy's Edge Droid Depot, over on Instagram, the Droid Collector, I'll have a link for them too. They posted this image saying, rumor is out there. It's rumor, not confirmed. This is a rumor. I'll repeat that again. Rumor, unconfirmed rumor. But they have this image that a BD-1 unit might be coming to the Droid Depot. And it looks legit. I'll be honest, it looks legit. I think this is real. I don't expect BD-1 to be on the conveyor belt. I would expect this to be a pre-built droid, which means it won't use the same accessories, likely, and it likely won't use any personality chips or anything like that. If I had to guess on pricing, I would think between $80 to $130, somewhere in that range, depending on what it does. I would err more towards the $100 mark, because I'm pretty sure they could get us all to drop 100 bones on that thing. And the pre-built ones usually seem to be in that range. The mouse droid was a bit cheaper, I want to say 50 or 60. The protocol droids were 60 or 70. So on and so forth. So I think they could probably get us for $100 on that if it's pre-built, pre-boxed, and ready to go. But man, that excites me to see this. And I had a feeling we would get new droids last year around May the 4th, early May, and late May at Batuu East, we got new droids. We got C droids, C1 or C smaller chopper unit droids at the Droid Depot. So it seems to be on schedule that we keep seeing this stuff happen every May. And May's just around the corner. It is just around the corner, which means we're going to get more Galaxy's Edge stuff coming soon. So make sure you stay tuned to this channel, because as the updates come out, I will try to do videos like this more frequently so you guys can stay up to date. Okay, quick addendum, quick update. Check it out. If you go to shopdisney.com, you go over to brands, you hit the Star Wars store. We're getting a little confirmation here on this. Let it load. Galaxy's Edge saber hilts. Cool. They've got some. And by the way, my Linktree, link below, has links to all of this stuff through affiliate links. So if you ever want to buy those kind of hilts, they're all linked in my Linktree. But get this. There he is right there. They're coming soon, confirmed by Disney on shopdisney.com. Meet the deluxe remote control droid BD, the ideal assistant for galactic researchers and explorers. Available March 27th at 7 a.m. Pacific time. Shop Star Wars Toys. Now, if you click the link, it just takes you to their toy page. But notice that paint scheme. He is yellow. It is a yellow BD unit. And so this doesn't show up yet. It just takes you to all of their toys and all of their lightsabers and everything. And notice there's some that are marked down to 118. Again, links down below. But it's confirmed. It is officially confirmed. We're going to get BD. He's coming soon to Shop Disney, and very likely Galaxy's Edge, because it does seem to use the same kind of remote that the Galaxy's Edge droids use. This remote right here, according to the images that were leaked. Now, this is over on Twitter. These have been arriving to a bunch of different creators, vloggers, news outlets. These big old boxes say Star Wars Mando Mania on them. Look at that. Boba Fett fan club got one. Who's the Boss got one. Your boy Dano is expected to get one very, very soon. I think today or tomorrow mine's going to be arriving. And it's going to be chock full of a lot of really cool stuff from Hasbro. So I'm very excited to check that out. Guys, that has been today's quick little roundup of new merch drops. New info regarding what's going on in live action. Let me know what you thought about this kind of video. Share it with a friend. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, don't be a moof milker. Be the spark.